Hi, this is Ray with another training talk. Today I'll be talking about how to balance being an athlete and a student when you're not technically a student athlete. If you were part of an actual sports team at the university, you always have coaches and trainers telling you where and when to be, and you have certain times where you have to be at study hours, and there's a lot more structure to your day than if you're not. And if you're trying to be the best triathlete or track runner that you can, you have to take that responsibility onto you and create that structure in your own life. So this video is all about that. And often what I've found is that a lot of athletes who are training on their own without a team don't feel as if they have enough time in the day to train to their full ability level. And that's where I'm going to try to help you today. My goal today is to try to help you not only be the best athlete you can be, but also the best student and get the most out of yourself in both aspects. Because often you put a lot of priority into just school, and then that interferes with your training, or you put in too much effort in your training and that affects your school. So we're trying to find the balance in between today. Here's a quote, one of my favorite quotes by Seneca, Stoic philosopher. It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And that's what I have found true in my experience and with a lot of other young athletes that I've worked with, is that you spend a lot of time of your day focusing on the wrong things and not getting results in the classroom or on the race course. So the first recommendation that I have for you is go to office hours regularly. The first week of class, go to office hours. Meet your teacher, introduce yourself. Don't be one of those kids who just walks up the first day, shakes the teacher's hand, say, hey, my name's Ray, and then that's it. Because it's kind of tacky, it's kind of dumb. Go to office hours, have a meaningful connection, learn about your teacher, they'll learn about you. They're more likely to help you if you have like an 89 and you're trying to get 90. They're going to help you try to learn that information much better. Create a habit to go, even if you don't need the help necessarily. Building those connections, even if you don't necessarily need that week to go. And this is more about just the habit of going. Go see your teacher. Don't mess around. And if you have a question, ask. It's not embarrassing. That's like what you're paying to go to school for. You probably don't have a scholarship, a sports scholarship if you're on the triathlon team. You might have an academic one. So you should go focus on your academics. It's that simple. My next recommendation is go to tutoring. All the best students at the university, even if they're getting A's, are going to the tutoring at the like North Academic Success Center. There are people that are getting paid to help you be successful in your classes. You can learn the material a week before you're getting taught in class. It's super helpful. I did it my freshman year, and I wish I would have done it more. But at a certain point, as you get like to be a junior, they probably don't have as much help for you. But that's where like supplementary instructors come in and TAs. Talk to your TAs. They will help you. The students who are failing classes are not doing this stuff. If you're struggling and not doing this stuff, do this stuff. 3, scheduling. Scheduling is the best thing you can do. Rather than have a to-do list of all the stuff you got to do, use a calendar. There was a recent study that they looked at to-do lists, and 40% of the stuff that ever got put on to-do list never actually ever got accomplished. So use a calendar and write when and where you're going to do that homework assignment, when you're going to do that training, when you're going to go to the gym, all that stuff. Use a calendar. Prioritize when you're going to train, when you're going to study, when you're going to socialize. I think that's important. Often as athletes, I feel like we kind of put on our blinders and go, I've only got to focus on my training. But if you're not focusing on your social health, your physical health probably will eventually suffer. I'd also recommend training first thing in the morning. Just get out the door, get it done, and then you don't have to think about the rest of the day. It gets a little tricky if you're doubling. If you have a run in the morning and a bike in the afternoon, or vice versa, something swim in the afternoon. I know a lot of triathletes have swim in the evenings, but figure out when you're going to do it, and then you're not freaking out the whole day of, oh, when am I going to do it? When you know at 6 p.m. I'm going to go swim. Also, I'd recommend working out with friends. Build meaningful relationships with your other triathletes, other teammates. And then that kind of, you get that 2-for-1 that you can work out and socialize at the same time. Also with scheduling, try to get ahead on work if you know you have a race or a big workout. The worst feeling ever is like getting back from a long run and then remembering all the homework that you have to do. So try to get ahead. Best thing you can do for yourself. I'd also recommend seeking out mentors, whether that's coaches, athletes, teachers, or even older students who have kind of walked the walk. I'd also check out authors, find a podcast, find somebody who you find inspirational, and then find the books that they're reading or the books they've written. That can help you learn from their successes and the mistakes so you can individually be better. I think many college students don't read enough. They focus on, oh, I just have to read this book for class, but they don't read for their own pleasure and for their own endeavors. 5, disconnect. All the time you see people at the dining hall just staring at their cell phone, or you get back from a run and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm just going to sit on my phone for an hour and try to de-stress. But often when you finish staring at that screen for an hour and not doing anything, you honestly feel much worse than even before. Or you get back from class and you're exhausted and you just got on your phone. That's not going to help anything. I'd also, little caveat here, is limit like Strava. As endurance athletes, we go on this way too often and we compare ourselves against other people who are, whether they're professionals or the best in the country. And then you're like, oh, why am I running so slow on my easy days, when you don't understand the context of their training, what they're doing, or even where they live. They could be running a lot faster at sea level versus you at altitude. So try to get away from that comparing game. Put your phone away, especially when you're socializing. It's not great. 6, let yourself rest. If you're working hard and you earn the rest, but also you kind of need to know when to rest and when you need to grind through that assignment. And hopefully that's not at 11:50 p.m. One's due at 11:59. Try to get ahead and let yourself rest. Enjoy the rest. Don't go on your phone, like I said. Also, another caveat is don't be sedentary. Don't be lazy. Just because you went on a bike ride in the morning doesn't mean you can just sit around all day. The book, Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It, talks about this, that if you're trying to lose weight and you exercise a bunch, and then the rest of the day you kind of find ways to rest because you justified it, you can justify it by exercising in the morning, you're still going to be like fat. Like that's the simple truth of it. I'd recommend to check out the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a great read about how to build in small habits that compound over time to get remarkable results, like the title says. It's all about habit forming, and I'd recommend reading this over the summer and establish those habits for this next school year. And then last, I want you to, a little bit of homework for yourself is to ask yourself, what is actually important to you? A few years ago, I reached out to the Olympic athlete, what's his name? Nick Simmons, ran for the Brooks Bees, ran for Oregon Track Club back in the day. He's a big hero of mine. And when I was struggling freshman year of college, I asked him, what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to balance their athletics and academics? And he sent me a voice message back and he said, you kind of have to ask yourself, what is truly important to you? Early in college, he said when he was trying to become a doctor, or that's what he thought he wanted to do, that his schooling was most important. But when he got to his senior year and he realized, oh, actually, I'm running really well and I could run professionally, that's what he prioritized. And so it kind of depends on what you're trying to do, what's most important to you. For many of you, your academics probably should be more important. You're going to get a lot farther in life through your academics than even if you're like a national champion triathlete or even NCAA national champion like track runner. That only pays the bills for so many years. And if you get hurt, that's kind of it. Just something to think about. Who do you want to be? What's actually important to you, and prioritize that. All right. I hope that helps. Hope training's going well. Bye.